Guys, so I'm sorry I have not updated any videos in the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, however many we're at, 2.5 I think. But it's with good reason. She's here. I was doing my weekly bump update videos. The last one I did was my 38 week, and then I had my 38 week appointment, and that was on Monday. I don't remember the date. It was a lot has happened since then. But that Thursday, actually Thursday the 21st. Okay, so Thursday the 21st, my blood pressure had been high at that Monday appointment. And so I was kind of monitoring it at home, and I went at my work, we have a health clinic. And so I went into my health clinic at work and just said, can you guys just check my blood pressure? She saw my very pregnant belly and was like, oh, why, what's going on? And I just said how at my appointment on Monday, hey, it's okay. I know, it was a rough time. On my appointment on Monday, they said it was a little high. Oh, sweetie, what's the matter? And then it was a little high. And so she checked it and was like, okay, that is a little high. Do you have any other symptoms? And I was like, do you have any headaches? And I was like, yeah, actually, I've been having some headaches for the last few days. She said, have I had any weight gain? I had been pretty constant for 2 or 3 weeks. And so I was like, yeah, actually, in the last 3 days before that Thursday, I had gained like 4 pounds, and I was like, oh, that's a lot. My feet were also like crazy swelling. They had been a little swollen. When I wore socks, you could see there was like a little compression, but it wasn't really anything. I could still wear pretty much everything. But now it's to the point where I couldn't even get into my sneakers. The only things I could wear were Uggs because I didn't have to wear socks and I could just slip into them. They were even getting tight. And so once I told the nurse at my health clinic that, she was like, okay, well, I actually just came from being a labor and delivery nurse. A labor and delivery nurse. And she's like, I'd like you to call your doctor and just tell them these specific things. And she gave me all these numbers to say. She's like, say it exactly like this. And they will know exactly what you're talking about. And so I did. And they were like, okay, it was just like a nurse receiving the information. And she's like, I'll go tell the doctor. Went and told the doctor, and they were like, what did you say? And I was like, I don't know what any of it means. Because they were like, I wish I could remember what it was now, but she was talking about like the compression with the edema in my feet, so the swelling, and it was some number that really meant nothing to me. It was like 1 to 2 plus or something. Anyway, no idea. Maybe some of you watching know what that means. But anyway, so I know. Lost my train of thought. Clearly pregnancy brain keeps going after you're done being pregnant. So I called, or they called back, and I just said, yeah, this is what it is. And they're like, all right, let me tell the doctor again, because I guess before they had just told the triage nurses, and we're like, now we need a doctor's opinion. So I told, sorry I'm rocking, but so I told them that. They called me back and said, the doctor said they'd like me to come into labor and delivery to the hospital and just get checked out. And I was like, I'm at work. Like, do you need me there immediately? Because my work is like over half an hour away from where my hospital is, probably like 45 minutes. And so I was just like, oh, and they were like, oh, whenever you get here, okay. So I was like, oh, okay. So I called Ryan, I texted Ryan, because he was at work too, and I was like, we gotta go. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, my doctor just said they wanted me to go to labor and delivery, and he was just like, So we both had driven separately to work that day. We work at the same place. And so we caravanned out. I was like, drive behind me just in case, like, I go into contractions or something. Because earlier that morning when I was driving into work, as soon as I got into the parking garage at work, I started having these crazy contractions. I had to stop in the middle of the parking garage and like not do like the full-on shrieking thing, but it was pretty strong. And I even walked into work that morning, and one woman at my work was like, you okay? Like, you look exhausted. And it was funny because I'd actually gotten about 8 hours of sleep that night and the night before. So I was like, I feel good, but like my belly is hurting. And so I was like, I just feel like today's the day. I don't know. It's like, I've heard people say, oh, well, sometimes like women just know it's going to be that day. But I was more than a week from my due date at that point. I was 8 days away. So I was just like, no, it can't be. It's too early. It's too, everything. And so I was like, but I do feel like it's today. So then when they called and said I'd go to labor and delivery, I was like, oh my God, like, was that real? But I don't know. So then we drove home, we caravan home, sorry, back to that. Caravan home, and I grabbed my hospital bag, which I hadn't really packed yet. I packed like bare essentials. Like I had a pair of sweatpants, I had a nursing tank, I had an outfit for her, one outfit like to go home in, and that was pretty much it. I hadn't really packed anything, and slippers. I didn't have slippers, so I was like, all right, well, what more do you need? They'll provide me, and then Ryan can always go home after. And my parents had arrived the day before, and so I was like, all right, well, my parents are here too, so they can always run me over stuff, whatever I need at the hospital. And I was also very convinced that, yeah, I was going to go into triage at labor and delivery, but I was like, my blood pressure is not like that high it was high, but like not anything to be like, oh my God, you have to deliver right now or anything. So I was like, I'm going to be coming home. Like I said to my parents, I'll see you guys for dinner. It'll be nothing. And they're like, okay. So I went to triage. They admitted me and got me hooked up. I had the 2 fetal monitors going across my belly to check for contractions and to check her heart rate, make sure everything was good. They also hooked me up to a blood pressure cuff, and so that they could check my blood pressure. It went off every 10 minutes because they wanted to track and trend it over however long. They also took my blood because they wanted to check, like liver function and different things like that, just to make sure everything was in working order and whatnot. So I was hooked up to all that in labor and delivery at triage. There was like one other woman there. It was very quiet, which was kind of nice. Hooked up to that it was about 3 hours, actually. They needed to wait on the blood work anyway, and so they're like, all right, we'll just get more monitoring trending data. And so then the doctor finally came in. I'd only seen nurses and stuff before that. And the doctor came in and said, okay, so your blood pressure numbers, like, someone said you've been like monitoring them, like, why did you go to the health clinic? And I just said how at my appointment on Monday, I had seen this doctor before who was there at like my 36-week appointment. And so I just said how it was a little high on Monday, and I was like, I just started monitoring it on my own because I have a blood pressure cuff. And then I went into the health clinic just to get like a real doctor reading, like a real nurse, real medical professional to actually take it versus just me at home, versus just my machine that maybe isn't calibrated correctly. I don't know. And so I did, and she was like, oh, I just wish I knew like what your trend was. And I was like, I actually wrote them all down. So in the notes section of my phone, I was like, I don't know if this is obnoxious. I was like, but I'd rather have the data and you guys not need it than, and she's like, oh no, let me see. She's like, this is actually really good. She's like, thank you so much. And I was like, oh, you're welcome. And she was like, all right, so you do meet the criteria to deliver because your blood pressure is higher and you are full term. And so they're like, we'd like to deliver you today. And I was just like, what? She was like, yeah, we'd like to admit you and start inducing you. And I was just like, not part of that plan, but okay. And so they were like, all right, let's go. And so they took me out of the triage section and went into a labor and delivery room and started me on Pitocin. And at that point, I think she said 3 centimeters when they admitted me, 3 centimeters dilated and 85% effaced, I believe. And so they're like, the good thing is we're not starting at 0. We're not starting at 0 centimeters. We're not starting at 0 effacement. They're like, we're well on the way, which is really awesome. And so based on where you are and the slow drip you're going to get of the Pitocin, we think you'll deliver tomorrow. And I was just like, okay, let's do this. So they asked if I wanted an epidural. Was getting pain management medication part of my plan? I said I didn't really have a plan, but if we're at this stage, I was like, I'd always said if I can't get it, if it's too late, it's too late. It's not a problem. But if I can get it, I'll see how I'm doing, but I'm going to probably say yes. And so I got to that point and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it, because there was so much going on, and I also, knowing my blood pressure was high, I didn't want to put the added stress of the extra pain on my body. That would probably cause my blood pressure to go up even more. And so I was just like, you know what? Whatever, let's just do it. And so an epidural will take away the pain, but it won't take away any of the pressure that you get from giving birth. And I was just like, hey, if we can cut out half that, cool, I'm cool with that. So I got the epidural. They like stick some giant needle in your back, which they said I did really well with, but I almost passed out after, so that was fun. I don't know if I think I was just like breathing like way too fast while they were doing it, because I was trying not to move, because they have to go in between two vertebrae and stuff, and so I was like freaked out that they were gonna miss and I'd be paralyzed. So I was breathing really quickly, and so then I almost passed out, but I got head down, lay flat, was able to stay conscious, which they were appreciative of. I was appreciative of. And so got the epidural and was just going from there, and just slow drip. The epidural was a very, very slow amount, because they said I'm such a small person. I'm very short. I have a very small frame, that the normal amount of epidural they give people, they couldn't give me, because they need the epidural to stop like right about at your diaphragm, so that your lungs, which are above that, you can still breathe. And I was like, oh, that would be appreciated. So they got it to about here, a little higher, which was okay. I could still breathe and stuff. But that meant it was not as strong. And they're like, okay, like, can you feel this? Like, are your legs like dead? And I'm like, no, I can still feel that. And they were like, huh, okay. So, but they couldn't really up it much more, because they couldn't go above. So they I don't know what they did. I gotta be honest. I don't know if they just strengthened it, but another anesthesiologist, I think they're the ones who do it, they came in and did something different, and I had to like lie on a certain side and whatever, but that worked. So that was good. So just, yeah, so that's pretty much that part of it. So then was going, and I got to 7 centimeters dilated and just stopped. No more dilation for like 6 hours or something. And they're like, we got to do something, because you're almost to the point where, you know, we need you to deliver in 24 hours. They had already broken my water. And so they're like, yeah, this needs to happen. And so they were like, yeah, if it, we'll try some different things. You lying on your side using this peanut ball. Sounds weird, but I'll explain. And trying to get you to dilate more. And we'll see. And if not, we're going to have to talk about other options, which meant C-section. So I was just like, oh, but there's nothing I can do. Like, it's not, I was on bed rest. As soon as I walked in that door because of my blood pressure, I was on bed rest. I wasn't allowed to walk the halls to try and get labor to keep going, nothing. Plus I had my epidural. And so there was nothing I could do. So they gave me this peanut ball, which looks like an exercise ball, but it's peanut shaped. And so it like, kind of like an 8. And so you lie on your side and you have the ball between your legs. I don't know how it works, but whatever. They also gave me Benadryl because they said I was so like swollen down there that it wasn't allowing my, cervix to open. So I was like, okay. But the Benadryl made me pass out. And I was like, okay, well, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because when I start pushing, like, I'm gonna need all my energy. And so after they did that, I fell asleep for, I honestly don't even know how long. It was at least, I don't know, 2 hours maybe. And so I was asleep for that, which actually was when I did dilate fully. All my really strong contractions started coming in then. And it was like, I slept through that, which was pretty awesome. But when I woke up, my contractions, like I went from like feeling contractions, not like anything screaming, like I was breathing heavy and stuff, but I went to sleep like that and woke up like, like it like really went. And I think I woke up because I was like ready to go. And so Ryan looked at me and was like, how's that pain? And I'm like, let me just get through this one. And so it was 3 contractions later that Ryan was like, do we need to call someone? I was like, yes. And so he called the nurse, and the nurse was like, okay, and I'll be right in. She came in, was like, okay, yep, we're gonna call the doctor. So they called the doctor, and the doctor came in and was like, that's the sound that I need to hear. That girl's ready. And so I guess when she came in earlier with the 7 centimeters and having to talk about C-section, she was just like, yeah, you're not ready. Like, I can tell by the way you're talking, you're looking at me, your voice, like everything. And so she came and was like, you're ready. Let's go. Glove me, basically. And so I did about an hour of pushing and finally got my little girl out. And it was, oh my gosh. But the worst part is that my epidural actually ran out a half an hour before I gave birth to her. Yeah, fun. Thanks, guys. So the first half hour of pushing, like, there was no pain. It was a ton of pressure, but like, she wasn't out or anything. Her head was there, but that's it. And then the second half, you know, where all the more important pain parts starts, like any tearing, anything like that, felt all of that. So yes, it was good. I had an epidural, but I also kind of didn't. And that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't start another drip. I guess they just figured that might slow things down and you're already like gone. Like, let's just go. And so, yeah, but whatever. We lived. I lived. She lived, obviously. And I'm so excited. It was like, they say after you give birth that you forget all of the other stuff. And clearly I didn't, if I'm able to talk about all this. I definitely am glad with my decision to get an epidural, even though the last half hour I didn't have it. But that's fine with me. She is amazing, and I am so happy. I just can't believe, like, look at how cute she is. I'm sorry, I know I'm biased, but like, look at how cute she is. I can't even. Some of the nurses and whatever said she looks like Ryan. I think she does. I think she got a lot of the qualities, the amazing qualities that he has. So she's silly, she's funny, she makes awesome little faces, even if they're reflexes. I don't care. We chat. So she's just awesome. She got this crazy head of hair, which apparently I was bald until I was like 3 years old, and my hair was, well, like blonde when I was little. And so she got this little head of hair, I'd say from Ryan. And she got the long eyelashes, the curl that Ryan has, that I always said, I want that physical feature that Ryan has. I would love it on my kids. And she did get that one. And clearly she's tanner than I am. That would be Ryan's Italian side. And so we'll see. She may change and whatever. She also has, can't see them now, but she's got these really deep blue eyes, which are really pretty. They might change. They might go brown, they might stay blue, not really sure. That won't happen for a while, but right now she's got pretty little blue eyes. And yeah, that was pretty awesome. She's amazing. She, right from the start, I'll put a picture, but right from the start, she was so alert. She was only with us for like not even 10 minutes, and they go and are with Ryan, and she's like just looking right at him, and like this little sparkle in her eye. It was amazing. She's amazing, and I'm so excited to introduce Miss Abigail Emma. And yeah, calling her Abby, calling her anything really, because she's been Abigail Emma, Buddha baby, because she sits like a little Buddha after she's had her milk and milk drunk, which is awesome. She's toga baby. She loves being swaddled, but she needs her arms out. And so after she gets her arms out, she looks like she's wearing a toga because it's just here and then her arms are out. So she's been toga baby, happy Abby. She got a lot of little fun names, but this is Miss Abigail Emma, and I'm so excited. Oh yes, you. I know. Gotta figure out how I want to keep going. I don't think I'll be doing weekly updates like I did with my bump, just because I have her to care for now in addition to myself. And so we'll see, maybe monthly, and just I'm not sure yet. I'll figure it out. But just wanted to give you the update that she's here, and I'm so excited. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like on cloud 9. It's awesome. So I love you. I love you. All right, so that's it for me. Wanted to show you she's here. Thanks.